In this video, we're going to try to take PhpStorm from the default look to this new amazing, beautiful, clean look. All right, let's open up PhpStorm. By default, if you open it up, it looks like this. Let's change to a site, to a project, so that we can better see what this looks like with some code. And yeah, here we go. And I can tell you already it looks way better than it did some years ago, but there's still a few things that I need to change every time because this is not an IDE I want to work in. So the first reason is everything is too small. It's not so good to read. And then we have lots of controls here, settings, buttons, icon bars, and all of that I find very distracting and I want to get rid of as much as possible. So let's get started. At the bottom here we have the status bar, and most of the settings I'm going to change through the global search. View appearance status bar, you can see I can toggle it on and off again. So let's get rid of the status bar. We mostly don't need it. It just shows a little bit of information like the PHP version and a little bit more, but yeah, most of the time I don't need this. Then on the left side here, we have a tools bar with some more tools like the project tree, structure, terminal, problems, version control. I also don't need this. Let's search for view appearance tool window bars. That's what it's called. Again, we'll toggle it off and it's gone. Okay, already way better. Then the next thing, we're going to need some files open. So let's open up this job here, and then this user model, and then maybe here provider. And yeah, a lot of people are using those tabs at the top because yeah, it's quite easy to switch here with the mouse to the tabs that you currently use, but I find them very distracting and you end up with a lot of them. Yeah, which is super confusing and super distracting. So that's why I don't use tabs at all. So let's get rid of them. We can do this by searching for tab placement. Those are the different placements you can use. And I'm just changing it to none. Okay, they are gone. But how do I get now to the latest files which I was using? There's a shortcut for recent files, which are the files which I had open recently. And I can just with the shortcut go there, go with my keyboard to the specific file, and here I am, and I still can see the latest files if I want to, way better than before. So you might ask, how do I see where I'm currently at? So what I'm mostly doing here is I open the project tree, but as you can see, it just shows the latest setting of where you're at. So currently, if I go to the factories, I open it up, it will be still here in this directory. So not where I'm currently at, but there's a shortcut where it can show up and select the file where you're currently at, which is the user class. And this is what I highly recommend. And if you go to the key map and search for select file in project view. So this is what I use the most. Open up the project tree or show directly the file where I'm currently at. Okay, let's move on. Main toolbar, this here. So there are a lot of things going on in the main toolbar, especially here on the right. And we can customize this. We have 3 different sections here, left, center, and right. And right is what we have here. And I'm just going to select everything, remove it, bam, it's gone. Oh my God, this is so much better already. I hate those icons because yeah, they are just distracting. Then in the center I have my file name, which I usually like to have, so I keep that. And then on the left, I have the project widget, which I also keep. You can switch your projects, but version control I don't need. So let's get rid of this as well. And yeah, main toolbar, so much better than before. All right, what next? We have line numbers here. So you can toggle them on and off again also through the search. I mostly don't need them. So let's remove them. Still, if I need them for some project, I can just toggle them in, but mostly I don't need to do this. Okay, what else do we have? Let's go back to this job here. Yeah, so we have this inline hints. Yeah, toggle inline hints, so it can show you how much something is used, but it can also show you who worked on a specific section of the file in version control. So for bigger projects and teams, this might be useful, but I like to get rid of this. And yeah, it makes everything way cleaner. Since we're already here, there's also this bulb here, which shows you some specific actions you can do, but you can also do this with a shortcut. So I like to get rid of this as well. And this is called Show Intention Bulb. And we have to go to the settings here and toggle this off. Okay, since we're already here, next we also have a compact mode for the UI settings. And if you take a look at what this currently looks like, let's set this. Yeah, it makes it a little bit smaller. It's not a big change, but I still like to change this because it looks a little bit better. And yeah, we're trying to make this as good as it can be. Okay, next, placement. Yeah, so here I have my project tree on the left. And what I don't like about this, every time I open this up, it shifts the code to the right. And this gets very distracting. So what I always do is I move this bar, this window here, to the right top. And now if I open it, it doesn't interfere with my code. There is also an option where you can keep it on the left and it just overlaps with the code, but I find this still distracting. So for me, the only way is to keep it on the right, which is something that I learned from Caleb Porcio. And yeah, I've stuck with this for many years now. This is way better. And I do this with all the tool windows, which I use here. Also, if you want to keep this on the right, you can save this under Window, Layout, and you can create a custom layout, which I already have. And this just saves things like that, so you don't have to do this with every new project. Okay, we already did a lot. It looks already much better, but you really have to take a look at the fonts and sizes in order to make it really look good. By the way, we still have breadcrumbs here. Let's see what's happening here. Breadcrumbs, yeah, we don't need this. Let's remove them again. Okay, and let's talk about fonts. So I'm going here to the settings, and we have two main fonts. We have one for the editor and one for the main app UI, which is all those windows here, sidebar and things like that. So let's change with this one. We are keeping the font and we're just changing this to, I think I'm going to something like 24. I like this to be really big. Yeah, look at this. That's how I like my font. And let's also do this with the editor font, which you find under editor font here. I'm using JetBrains Mono, which is a really nice font by JetBrains. And usually I have something like 28, but this will be a little bit too big for this presentation here because I'm using a different resolution in order to record this video. So we're going to use something like 26 and I think 1.8 for the line height. Yeah. Okay, look at this. This is so much better. This is how I like my code so that I can focus really on the things that I'm currently looking at. And yeah, so much better than before. Okay, I think two more things that I want to show you. First, when we take a look at the color scheme, we can see what theme we're currently using. And this is the default dark one. There are a bunch here which you can use out of the box, but I really like to install one these days. I'm going to plugins here and I'm search just for theme. And yeah, one dark theme is the one that I currently use. It already has almost 10 million downloads, so it's quite popular. So let's bring this in. And we can already apply this. And now look at this. Yeah, this looks so cool. Look at those colors. That's what I really like. Some nice, really good intense colors. So this is an IDE that I would already like to start coding in. But one thing which also distracts me here is this vertical line. And it took me a long time to figure out how we can remove this, because actually you cannot remove this, but we can change this. So under editor, color scheme, general, we have all the colors. And here in the editor guides, we have the indent guide. So this is what we are looking here at, this guide here. And we can change the background color, which is exactly what we want to do. So I'm bringing in the new color, which is exactly the color as my background. You can also use the color picker and just pick it. Just going to apply, boom, and this line is gone. Yeah, you still see it here a little bit when you have a different background, but yeah, actually I don't mind because yeah, you almost don't see this now. And this looks so good now. This is really an IDE that, yeah, doesn't look even like PhpStorm. That's also what I get a lot when people ask what IDE am I using, because it doesn't look like PhpStorm. And that's just because we are customizing it to make it look so clean. And yeah, that's it. That's how I like my IDE. minimal, clean, still beautiful. And yeah, the next step for you would be to make yourself familiar with all the shortcuts, because we don't have those icons and bars anymore. So you're going to need those shortcuts. So this is also good training. So have fun with your new minimal, clean, beautiful IDE.